All right, everybody, buckle up because we got to talk Hurricane Milton. Two news reports just dropped, and let me tell you, it's not looking good for Florida. It could be a record breaker. And it's not just how strong Milton already is, it's how fast this thing went from 0 to 60. You know what
Mm.
I mean? Like Hurricane Helene, that maybe even worse. Even the National Hurricane Center, those guys are usually like the calm in the storm, right? They put out a special advisory way early. That's how you know it's serious. One report said wind speeds jumped over 70 miles an hour in a day, like going from driving to work to basically, I don't know, skydiving speed wise in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, that's what we call rapid intensification. And it's a huge red flag with these storms. Think of it like this.
Mhm.
You got a fire already going and then somebody dumps gasoline on it. Boom. That's what warm ocean water does, especially with the right conditions in the atmosphere. Just fuels the hurricane to grow at an insane rate.
So it's not just about how big these hurricanes get anymore, it's how quickly they morph into these monster storms.
Exactly. And what's really concerning is we're seeing this rapid intensification more often. And while there's still a lot to learn about all the factors, warmer oceans from, you guessed it, climate change are definitely playing a part.
So right now, Milton's spinning out there in the Gulf, and that cone of uncertainty, basically, where it could hit, covers the entire west coast of Florida. Tampa Bay, Charlotte Harbor, Fort Myers, they're all in the bullseye. Both these reports are really hammering home the danger of storm surge, especially for those coastal cities. They're low-lying right there on the Gulf.
Yeah, storm surge is no joke. It's often the deadliest part of a hurricane, especially in coastal communities. Basically, the hurricane pushes this massive wall of water onto the land. Imagine a two-story house. We're talking a possible 8 to 12 feet of water.
Uh,
That house is gone.
that's insane. That's even higher than the surge during Helene, and that was devastating.
It is. And the geography of the coastline, even the angle the hurricane hits at, can make the surge way worse in certain spots.
Yeah, this is serious stuff. The mayor of Tampa is already telling people to get ready to evacuate. They aren't taking any chances. Some places have already started.
You know, it's really important, even if you're not right in the path of a hurricane, having a plan ready to go is so important wherever you live.
100%. One of the reports mentioned Tampa Bay's a major gas hub for Florida. So if Milton slams in there, forget about it. Gas is going to be impossible to find. So yeah, if you're anywhere near this thing, fill up your tank now. Don't wait. And look, even if you're inland, you got to pay attention. These hurricanes are massive, right? The impact is huge. We're talking potential flooding, serious flooding, even if you're miles from the coast.
Oh, yes, speaking of rain, they're saying up to 15 inches in some places when this thing moves across Florida. That's like a whole swimming pool dumped on your street. And it's not just about the rain itself, right? It's what happens when that much water hits the ground.
Hmm.
Drainage systems can't handle it. So even areas that don't usually flood, bam, you're flooded.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in those wind speeds, but you're right, the flooding can be even more dangerous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting? This kind of loops back to what we were saying about climate change. Remember, warmer air holds more moisture, which means even more rain from these hurricanes. It's all connected.
So we got the wind, the surge, the rain. It's like Milton showing off all the ways a hurricane can mess you up. But hey, that's why we're here, right? To break
Yeah.
it all down so you can be ready for whatever this thing throws our way.
Hmm.
You know, one thing that really stood out to me from these reports was just how fast a storm like Milton can go from 0 to 100. It's a scary reminder that we're in a whole new world now when it comes to weather.
Right. And while we can't control Mother Nature, we can control how we prepare, having a plan, knowing your evacuation route, staying informed. All that stuff could literally save your life.
This isn't just about having some batteries and bottled water stashed away. It's like a whole different mindset. We got to get ahead of this stuff. Be proactive, not reactive.
I'm with you. It's bigger than just this one hurricane, this deep dive on Milton. It's like a wake-up call, right?
Yeah.
Hurricanes are changing, getting stronger. It's the new reality with this climate change thing.
No doubt. So with that in mind, anything else you want to leave our listeners with as we start to wrap up this deep dive on Hurricane Milton?
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it's kind of obvious, right? Warmer water, bigger storms, it all adds up. And that's the thing, right? If hurricanes feed off that warm water and our oceans are getting warmer, well, it's not rocket science. We're going to see more intense hurricanes in the future, and that's a little scary.
It's like we're living in a science experiment gone wrong.
And the stakes are huge, right? It's not just about getting through this one hurricane. It's about recognizing that Milton, this is a sneak peek at what the future might hold. These crazy storms, they could become the norm.
So what can people do besides, prepping every hurricane season like it's the end of the world?
That's the million-dollar question, right? It's about understanding the science behind this thing, making our voices heard, maybe even rethinking how we build our cities and towns. It's complicated, lots of moving parts.
You got that right. Well, there you have it, folks. We've gone deep on Hurricane Milton, everything from the breaking news to the how and why behind these powerful storms. We talked about the threat right now, the bigger picture down the road, and what you can do to get ready for a future where hurricanes like Milton are more common than not.
Knowledge is power.
Right.
The more we understand about all this hurricanes, climate change, all of it, the better off we'll be when the storms hit.
Stay safe out there, everyone, and until next time, keep on diving deep into the things that matter.